Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Mile High Game Guys Board Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Adrian.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Jeff.
And we're coming to you with another episode sponsored by Greyfox Games, because they sponsor this board gaming podcast about board games. And definitely going to be about weather later, after we talk about what we've been playing.
Correct.
So I forgot to check on this when we were doing pre-show stuff. Have you both actually played games?
Yes.
Zach?
I mean, we can just go ahead on the assumption of last week.
Okay.
That I've been playing PS5 games, yes. So,
okay. Then we will talk about that later as well.
Yeah.
Jeff, would you like to start with what you've been playing?
Sure.
I do want to say that there was plans to play games this weekend that were then no longer a thing. So it's not. There was an attempt. I just want to say. So
Okay.
it's just
Was
a lot of
thwarted
things.
by Mother Nature?
It was thwarted by Mother Nature, and then like a lot of things, as soon as the first obstacle comes up, the motivation is just gone. So
That sounds about right.
yeah.
Very well then. So, Jeff, how about you take us away then? What have you been playing recently?
So a lot of Marvel Champions has come out, and I haven't played with any of it. So I did. I think there's been like at least four character decks that have come out. Because there's Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch came out very conveniently the same day that the WandaVision finale happened. Scarlet Witch is okay. Her thing is chaos control. So she her ability is when you ever do like the boost icon on your events, you can discard the top card of the deck and count the number of boost icons on that card instead. So if you got like the really bad one that had like 3 on it, you could just discard it and use another one. Because there's usually only a couple of those 3s anyways. And then her crest, she can, as an interrupt and exhaust, she can increase or decrease those boost icons that are on there. So if you got a 1, you can turn it into a 0. Or other abilities will let you, like her Hex Bolts, which are like, she has like 4 copies of that in her deck, which is interesting. When I get to Quicksilver, I talk about how many copies of shit that's in his deck. But her Hex Bolt, which is her main attack, discard the top 3 cards of the counter deck for each card discarded this way that has a boost icon. You can get different abilities based on how many boost icons are on those discarded cards. Like 0, deal 2 damage to an enemy. 1, remove 2 threat from a scheme. 2, draw a card. 3+, place a status card on a character. Which on a character is good because you can give yourself things like tough and give other people stuff like stun.
Nice.
Yeah, which is neat. Of course, she has Agatha Harkness as a support card, which is much more to the comics because this whole game is very devoted to the comics.
Right.
Yeah, it just lets as an alter ego action, it lets you look at your deck, whatever. She's got a bunch of shields that just lets you, like, there's 3 of them, magic shields, when a friendly character would take any amount of damage. She has a bunch of allies in her deck, like Speed, and Wiccan, and Quicksilver. So, and if you've watched WandaVision, you might know who Thomas and William are. They're basically just easy allies that let you thwart, and they also have boost stuff on them, so you can use your crown against that. It's a yellow deck, so it was very thwarty.
So how did they let you do? Because you said the Quicksilver was that just just an ally card, or was it part of her deck?
It's part of her deck.
Okay, and normally you can't play a card where there's another actual hero out.
Correct.
But you can with this one because they're paired, right?
I don't think so. I think if you just have that, you just can't use it. Because if you're playing because her team-up card is Order and Chaos. Team-up Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. The team-up will count your ally Quicksilver or the hero Quicksilver, but I don't think you can play the ally Quicksilver if you're playing with the hero Quicksilver.
Gotcha. It basically just becomes a card that has symbol, like a symbol card.
Yeah, it's a wild, which is good, at least.
Yeah. Oh, that's good, at least. Yeah.
When a treachery card is revealed from the encounter deck, cancel its when revealed effects, and then deal 2 damage to the build. So it's kind of like an just certain type of card.
Okay.
Yeah, so Scarlet Witch is fun, interesting. Her obligation is slipping sanity. The fun fact of her obligation is there's 2 of them. So there's 2 slipping sanities that are in there. Most other heroes that I remember ever playing only ever have 1 obligation. But she has 2 because I guess she's really powerful and she's kind of going really crazy. So
that doesn't sound like her.
No.
Not at all.
Her enemy is one that I just have no idea who she is. Luminous. I have no idea what she's from, or comic-wise what she has done. I mean, her side scheme is involving the High Evolutionary, who originally in the comics is who gave Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch their powers, or made their powers more powerful. I don't know. They've kind of gone back and forth of whether or not they are actually Magneto's kids or not, because they wanted to get them away from anything X-Men related because of Fox, and which is why Pietro dies in Age of Ultron, because Fox wanted him for their X-Men movies.
Yep.
Yeah, and they use it to basically build up Wanda. So.
Yeah. But yeah, the High Evolutionary was no part of the MCU story, but is integral to theirs. So maybe Luminous is some sort of High Evolutionary person. But yeah, Scarlet Witch, I just been playing against Rhino because I know how to play Rhino. Even though the other villain decks are very interesting, I just haven't wanted to take the time to learn how to play the time travel with Kang. And then Quicksilver is very interesting because Quicksilver has a lot. He's fast.
What?
Yeah,
That
weird.
doesn't sound like him.
They made him feel fast because he has a ton of untap your hero, refresh your hero abilities.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so most of his powers are do an attack, refresh your hero, do an attack, refresh your hero. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but his 6 of his cards are that in his base set. And it is quite interesting to play him with that. And then he also has X Factor allies who are Multiple Man and Warlock, which I was like, oh, that's interesting. Those are kind of the first steps into anything mutant related that I remember or have seen at all in any of these sets. Once again, Scarlet Witch is one of his allies and is a wild. Always be running is his basic superhero. Their events, they cost 1, and it's just hero action ready Quicksilver. It's double time, just do a lot of stuff. There's got to be a lot of as I look through the cards flavor text, it's a lot of X Factor stuff in here, which I think might be the first reference to X-Men. Getting close to X-Men. He's got a green deck because he has Multiple Man in there. The fun thing about Multiple Man is there are 3 of his ally cards, and whenever you play him, you search your deck or hand for a copy and put it into play. So you put one out and then you get another one out. So he can sort of become multiple, but other than that, he's just a 1/1 with 2 damage. He's nothing special. He's got the same team up card, which has been the same as all the other team up stuff. I like his obligation, Need for Speed, which is just a picture of him waiting in line behind an old lady at the grocery store.
Perfect.
But his opponent is Avalanche, who I think is also Brotherhood of Mutants. So I think this is the first sort of wink into X-Men related shenanigans. Because I don't think there's been any Brotherhood of Evil Mutants references or anything. Even though nowadays, I think in the comics, Quicksilver has been more of a Inhuman at one point. Like, he went and got their Terrigen mists or something and got like super... Or no, he didn't have powers for a while, and then he got the mists, and then he got his powers back, and Lockjaw was part of that. That's that dog that teleports. I think he was a card in something.
Yeah, he's just one of the
base allies or something.
Gray card. Yeah, that does not seem good at all. But...
Yeah. Yeah, like those gray cards.
Yeah.
So I played with both of those. Quicksilver just sort of smashed into Rhino real fast. Because he can, with the double time that I was talking about earlier, he can choose twice, like deal 2 damage to an enemy or remove 2 threat from a scheme, but then he can do it twice. So he can 2 damage, 2 thwart, 4 damage, etc. And then he also gets like maximum velocity, which is an event that he has that just gives him +2 to all of his stats for 1 round. I don't know. They were all interesting. Yeah. Everything so far has been interesting in the world of Marvel Champions. They're not slowing down. That's for sure. And I think next is... I think they're done until Guardians starts hitting, I want to say.
Yeah, okay. That seems right.
So Guardians of the Galaxy will have like a big box, kind of like the Rise of the Red Skull campaign.
Yeah.
That'll come with a bunch of nemeses and heroes, and they've been announcing the hero decks recently coming out after that, like Gamora and Drax. I doubt they'll use the old look for Drax. They'll definitely use his new look. So Drax in the old comics looked like Vision, just sort of green and other green instead of red and green. His new look is much better. He rips Thanos' heart out through his back.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the whole thing. Drax is actually like the anti-Thanos, but that never came up in the movies.
Would have been a little bit anticlimactic if the first time Drax fought Thanos, he just ripped his heart out through his back.
Yeah. There was something like the closer Drax got to hunting down Thanos, the stronger he got.
Wasn't he like somebody's like soul that like got put into his body, or am I thinking of an older version of him?
You could be thinking about 25% of the Marvel Universe.
Yes, I understand that, yes.
Probably, he has a lot to do with like that whole Adam Warlock and Captain Marvel, but they alluded to Warlock, and then that just never happened, so.
Gotcha.
It still might, Guardians, maybe.
After Guardians 2. Yeah, maybe.
It's a real early teaser for Phase 5.
Yeah, when James Gunn does Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3.
And that's after he does the holiday special, which I'm not kidding about.
There's a holiday special coming?
There's a Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special.
Well, at least they need some sort of content, because that third movie's not going to happen for a long time.
Yeah, and also you can also look at Thor: Love and Thunder. It's going to have them at least for a little while.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
They'll keep them around-ish, I'm sure.
Just in time for these Marvel Champions packs to come out.
Indeed.
Just in time.
Right.
Marvel Champions continues to be good.
Not surprising.
And I'm keeping up, because if I don't, you know what happens.
Yep.
Right on. Did you have anything else that you played, or just fucked around with that?
I built a ton of 40k miniatures. I bought like a combat patrol box for the Dark Angels. I built all that. I built all the Kill Squad stuff. So I have a bunch of unprimed Space Marines that need some priming and painting.
Get on it.
Yeah, these new ones are pretty cool. They have like dual wielding like plasma cannons, but they are also on like huge jetpacks. I don't know where the Space Marine technology came from, but it's very different than what it used to be.
Interesting.
Oh, I do have one board game related thing. Do you remember that Kickstarter that I was supposed to get in August of 2017? It was, you know what? It's called Yukon Salon, and that's because it finally arrived.
I do vaguely remember that
what?
one.
Yeah.
Isn't it because someone else
Correct.
Okay.
It's because Atlas Games bought it from him, and then was like, all right, we'll actually get this out to people. So
Hooray!
Now I have it, and it's not gonna be worth the 4-year waiting period. But especially because I want to say I paid $10 or $11 for it. But it was nice to be able on Kickstarter to click that I've received that game.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I have.
Okay. I actually did play a board game as well. Shocking, I know. Megan and I decided we took, so I was off. My schedule was bullshit this past week. As I worked like Monday, Tuesday, and then I was off Wednesday, and then I worked Thursday, Friday, and then I was off Saturday, and then I was supposed to work Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Other things happened. But with that Saturday off, that kind of unexpected Saturday off, Megan also had it off, and so we decided we would play a board game when it started snowing, which it finally did late in the afternoon. And so we sat down and we played the High School Sweethearts scenario from Fog of Love. Yes, thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, Fog of Love.
This one went much better overall. We felt like on all three of the main story cards, we matched on all three of those decisions. It felt like our characters were much more in sync with their personalities and what they wanted, and we both chose the equal partners goal at the end, and we failed because I only achieved 2 of my 3 trait goals, and she got all 3 of hers, which ended up putting her like 4 or 5 points ahead of me. And so the requirements for that one, you have to be within 3 of each other. So she was much happier in her relationship with me than I was in my relationship with her. So,
Did you have the ability to
not yet.
break up? I don't remember.
Nope.
If that one okay, all right. That's the next one that adds it. Okay.
We give it a year, or I'll give it a year, or something like that.
Yep. That's where you start to get that interesting thing. If you're like, I want it, like you're like, I want the relationship to succeed, but also I want to win. So.
Well, I mean, you kind of already have that a little bit in the starter one, because like knowing that you can't split up, but you can totally go for like controlling or whatever as your destiny, which is super fucked up. But
that's what I did with Sharon, and I won with that, and Paul did not win with his, because you need to be the one that's like, I'm okay with you being controlling, and then but like really be like low on certain parts in order for you to succeed.
Yeah. So yeah, we like it. We did talk a little bit after this one that for whatever reason in this one it was harder for both of us at times to not intentionally just try to play for the better option. Like we both knew that we both needed more pluses. So like some of the cards, it was like, I don't know if this is what our characters would do, but if we both do this, and we didn't like discuss this, but you could tell that like this was clearly what was going on in our heads. It was like, I bet they're gonna go for love points, which means option D. So I'm gonna go for that too to make sure that we match, even if I don't necessarily think that's what my character would do. So we talked about like in the next one where you actually have the option of breaking up, and it adds a little bit more of that. We can actually just play more to what our characters would do rather than knowing, okay, we're going to stick together, so we probably should try to get a bunch of love and happiness. Turns out if you went into a relationship and somebody sat you down at the beginning and was like, you guys are unable to break up no matter what, then you might be like, probably better work to make sure this is a good relationship if we literally cannot break up. So,
yep. Or you just look at them and you're like, you're stuck with me. I get to do whatever the fuck I want.
I mean that, but we like it. It's still a really clever system. It's a lot of fun to play. We played through that one was like a longer one.
Yes.
Than the intro, and I still feel like, especially knowing how to play, I feel like we flew through it in like maybe 2 hours. It played really quick. So we were real happy with that. Yeah. So Fog of Love continues to be good. I have no idea when we'll actually get to play again. Because we're going to be doing a lot of snowboarding stuff the next several weeks as the season winds down. And March and April are our snowiest months, as we all know. So, yeah. that's it for me for board gaming. So I think we can move all of us on to banter, where we talk about the snowpocalypse for a little bit, and then video games, and then whatever else.
All
Because
right.
we had a snowpocalypse.
We did.
It was forecast for a long time out that we were going to get a bunch of snow. I can't remember if we even talked about this last week.
No.
Because I'm pretty sure it was forecast out pretty early.
I think it was like a it was in a sense of like we're supposed to get snow that weekend.
Okay.
Like I think and because when I went to go, I saw the upcoming forecast that was supposed to start on like Thursday night and then like start into Friday. And so I went to go get food on like Tuesday, like at the grocery store, because I was like, I don't want to have to deal with that shit later. And I think it was still at that part where people are like, it's supposed to snow this weekend, not, oh shit, it's gonna snow 2 feet.
No, see, no, because I know, like, Monday and Tuesday at work, everybody was talking about, like, oh, this might be like that big snow back in 03.
Mm-hmm.
So we were all talking about it Monday and Tuesday at work.
Gotcha. Well, the grocery store did not reflect that, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think, well, nobody took it, because everybody was laughing about it. Like, oh, yeah, they're saying that again, but it's not going to happen. But if it does, man, it'd be like in 2003, when the city was shut down for like 3 days because of a snowstorm. Well, so anyhow, the forecast, like Zach said, initially kind of seemed to hint, at least the like I agree with what you just said, Zach. That's what I remember from some of those early week forecasts, was that like weather was supposed to move in like Thursday evening, Friday was going to be a little bit of snow, and then like Saturday morning it was supposed to start just dumping a bunch of snow. Well, fast forward to the actual Saturday, and the forecast kept being all over the place, and people were urging caution, and somebody'd be like, and I'm guilty of this because I kept doing it in the Slack channel. Oh, look at this one outlier that shows that we might get 36 inches. Holy shit, how cool would that be? Meanwhile, the actual forecasts were more like, okay, it's going to be like 12 to 20, okay, 12 to 18, and don't forget, it might go way south to southern Colorado or might go all the way up to Wyoming. We don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. And so I was off Saturday, and so I was like, man, I hope it just dumps snow Saturday so I don't have to go into work on Sunday. Well, Saturday rolled around, and it did not start to snow. And then, like, at noon, it started to sprinkle / kind of snow, and by, like, 2, there was still no accumulation, and I was getting real depressed, as was anybody who was hoping for a big snow. We were like, oh, well, so much for that idea. This sucks. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to have to go to work on Sunday. So I went to bed with like maybe 3 inches of wet snow out on my porch, and the hourly forecast showing like no major snow all night. And so sure enough, woke up in the morning, not much more snow, like still probably right around like 3 inches. Maybe it got up to 4. So got up, drove to work. That was a shitty drive to work because it was a big, wet, heavy, slushy snow, and there had been no plowing. It seemed like there was not a single plow on the road, and that little fucking 2-wheel drive Corolla that I've got right now did not
that's right.
like.
You don't have your
No.
4Runner anymore, and
I do not.
And Megan was using the Subaru, or
yes. So Megan also had to work Sunday, and so she went into work Sunday in the Subi. So I got to work, and like by the time I had made the coffee at work and poured myself a cup, it was dumping. And it just kept dumping. And I was like, oh, man. And I looked at the forecast. It was like, oh, no. I'm going to be stuck at work. So I got a hold of my boss, and I was like, hey, I'm doing, like, the critical PMs that we can't skip, and then I'm going home. Like, I'm trying to get home before this gets too bad. And he's like, rumble, rumble, grumble. That's okay, I guess. It's like, yeah, okay. So I barely made it home. My car got stuck in, like, halfway into my driveway. Like, I left in the morning, the driveway was completely clear because we had both cars parked in the driveway, so no snow fell on the actual driveway. We backed out, we went to work, left with the driveway clear, and then it was deep enough by the time I got home less than 6 hours later for me to not be able to get into the driveway. So, shoveled it out, got in, and then proceeded to sit there and go, holy shit, Megan might not make it home from work, as it continued to just snow and snow and snow. I ended up finding, for me, the deepest snow that I found in our yard. We had like a big drift in the backyard that Jester and I were playing in, and before we dove into it and started attacking each other in all the snow, I measured it at 36 inches. And then our little like kind of protected from the wind area on a table, I measured 27 inches. on my table, which turns out the ultimate official forecast, official totals for Denver was 27.1 inches. So
which is more than on my app, at least, like the predictions for that entire weekend.
Yes,
it was
it
was like 3 and then like 14 or no, it was like 3 and then like 10 and then like 10 or something. Like it was coming around like 23, 24. So getting higher, getting up to 27, especially in that 1 day period, was yeah.
It was also very windy.
Yes, yeah. I made the mistake of I want to say it was like Saturday afternoon, or maybe even Sunday afternoon. Sunday sometime. I went to open up the garage door to look at it, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And then like there's like a line of, snow where it was hitting the garage door, and then I had to spend. And then when I went to close it, and then I was like, "Oh, a lot of that snow just got knocked right into the garage, and now it won't close because of the snow." And so then I had to spend 10 to 15 minutes just clearing that shit out so I could actually close the garage door again. And it was just like, God damn it.
Yeah, I'd been telling people to like skip on shoveling because it was heavy and wet, and it was like the lowest temperature we got for most of the time was like, I don't know, maybe mid-20s. Like it was a fairly warm snowstorm. And so I was like, yeah, it's gonna melt real quick. Like I wouldn't bother shoveling it. And then I got my car stuck and I had to shovel it. And so then I went ahead and just shoveled the sidewalk while I was out there. I am very achy from shoveling all that heavy wet snow. I have a long sidewalk.
We shoveled in the middle of the day Saturday, but the wind was blowing so hard that it just covered it all back up again.
Yep.
Almost immediately.
By the time Megan ended up getting home that night, where I had shoveled the driveway was indistinguishable from where I had not shoveled the driveway because of all the blowing. And it actually, like, at some point I got an actual blizzard warning that it was a full-on blizzard, which makes sense because driving home at like noon on Saturday sucked. It sucked worse than the drive to work. It was bad. I saw a city bus sideways on Sheridan. That was pretty cool. But yeah, bonkers snow. And then it warmed up today, and like my driveway's nice and clear, and should be fine to go to work tomorrow. I was supposed.
It was sunny.
Jeff. Yeah, it was very sunny. Yesterday the campus closure line for my job said that the campus was going to be closed until noon today, and then they'd updated it about 10. And so when I called it like 10:30. They said it was closed all day today, and no sooner had I hung up on that than my boss texted me. He's like, "Were you able to make it in today?" And I was like, 1, it is 10, and it was supposed to be closed till noon, and 2, it just said it's closed all day. And he's like, "Oh, well, sometimes we go in to work on projects and get PMs done." And I was like, no, sir. I sent him a picture of my car stuck in the driveway. I was like, I couldn't even get into my driveway yesterday. I was like, I'm not coming into work today.
Yeah, I got a similar text this morning. Well, yesterday it was like, don't expect to be in maybe by 9, and then this morning it's 7-ish. I got a text that was like, don't bother coming in. Probably because anything that we had to do canceled, so there wasn't anything to do.
Yeah. So yeah, Megan still had to go back into work both Sunday and today, and I got 2 days off. So I worked a little bit on Sunday, but otherwise I've been largely off for an unexpected 3 days, which made my sucky work week last week okay.
Were you able to use time off for it, or is it just like not working?
I have not decided yet whether or not I will burn PTO on this, because I also got another, so my paychecks are normally between $1,400 and $1,600 depending on how much I work overtime. My take home is, and turns out I got a $1,400 check today. So I'm kind of like, I might not waste my PTO on this. I might just have a short check and use my PTO on a trip later.
Yeah, mine doesn't get here till Wednesday. God damn it.
I don't know when mine will actually truly show up in my bank account. It has been pending for 3 days.
Oh, gotcha.
So we shall see. This also comes off me taking vacation a week ago. So kind of all over the place.
Yep.
I
went to brunch on Saturday.
Yeah? How was that? Where'd you go?
Good. I went to Kuma's. They were having a special.
Brunch?
They were doing a St. Patrick's Day special. And originally I was like, oh, good luck with that. And then I saw that it wasn't snowing, and I was like, I'm kind of hungry. It's 11. There's probably no one there. And then the pictures on Instagram looked really good. They did a corned beef hash and a Reuben and fries. They had some green beer. It was really good. It wasn't it wasn't the usual like, oh my god, there's so much food here level that I'm used to at Kuma's, but it was good corned beef hash.
Nice.
Yeah, cooked in house that day.
Nice.
2 eggs, some rye toast. It's quite nice.
I tried a new. Sorry, Jeff. Go ahead.
That was it. It was nice.
Okay.
And then I went home, and then I stayed home for 2 days,
Perfect.
including today.
Speaking of trying new food, I tried a new wing place up on my end of things.
Which one?
Shit, what was it? Like not BC's, because
CD's wing?
CD's, that's what it is.
Yeah.
CD's wings. They're actually like really highly rated. Like 4.7 with over 1,000 reviews. I was like, holy shit. I don't remember. Huh?
I was just gonna say I've found them to be one of the better places right around here. So I don't know if you felt that or not. But
Indeed I did.
Okay.
I don't remember what it was. We were watching something. It might have been like Brooklyn Nine-Nine or something. Somebody was talking about wings, and I was like, oh my god, I've never wanted wings so bad in my life. But it was like 1 o'clock on Saturday, and it was starting to snow, and I was like, oh. And so then Megan was like, well, I'll buy it if you go get it, because that actually sounds kind of good. And I was like, sweet. So we ordered a bunch of wings from them along with some sides, and yeah, I was really happy with them. We got their parm garlic, their buffalo bee, and their house sauce. The buffalo bee was obviously like honey buffalo. It was good.
That's the one I usually get, yeah.
I don't know what the house sauce was other than delicious. Like, I couldn't tell you what flavor it was. I really liked it. As did Megan.
Spicy barbecue and ranch.
Is it?
Yeah.
Interesting. Did you find that online?
Yes.
Yeah. Because like when I was ordering online, like it gave no description for any of the sauces.
That's weird.
So I just was guessing wildly.
Unless you weren't looking at their menu, where it gives a description of all their sauces.
I wasn't. I was looking at their online ordering platform,
which is pretty garbage. At least it was when I tried to use it.
Yeah, I wasn't super impressed with it, but like I saw some of the reviews were like, and their online ordering is super easy and usable, and it was like, that seems not accurate.
The most annoying thing about it is that they actually have a pretty good like lunch special, so you may want to keep that in mind for later. But
okay,
it doesn't show up when you try and do the online ordering. You
so
can
you have to,
do it.
Call it in.
You call it in, or you have to go there and be like, "Hey, I want this," and then you just go wait in your car.
Okay.
Yeah. So if it's like with that extra time, it may not be worth it. But it was like 9 wings and some fries, and then a drink for like $10 or something like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I see here now the choose your sauce thing on their menu, which is that'll be handy to have because I'm definitely going to get them again. The wings like had a really good, like nice crisp skin, but were still like nice and juicy on the inside. I was a little disappointed, which I think, let me see where it is on here. Yep. If I'd seen this, I would have realized that the garlic parmesan is not a sauce. It's a little bit of garlic butter and then topped with like some Parmesan cheese. So they were very dry. They weren't saucy. Like I like a good garlic Parmesan sauce, not the dry version of those. So, but yeah, the house and the buffalo bee were both very tasty. And then I asked on Slack about like everybody's preferred way to eat old wings, like to reheat them. And Paul was like, you can't do that. Like they just turn out awful. And then a couple other people, like I think it was Lance, was like, use an air fryer. And I was like, well, I don't fucking have an air
toaster
fryer.
Oven.
Yeah, toaster oven.
Don't
or
have
air
one
fryer.
of those either.
Well, then then it's
actual oven.
Actual oven. Then.
So I used the microwave and they came out fucking great. They were still crispy on the outside and still saucy, like juicy on the inside, and the sauce was nice and hot. And I was totally fine with microwaving my leftover wings. So worked great. That's all I got.
Hooray!
That was my wings experience. I don't know why I went all in on the wings conversation.
The wings are good.
Wings are good.
It always is such a bummer for me when I think about the fact that I moved farther away from Wing Hut. And then it's just like, God, it's like 45 or 50 minutes to get down there. And what's annoying is that like the place I would go there with my friend, but he lives about 20 to 30 minutes south of it. So when I go to visit him, it's still like I gotta still go like 30 minutes to go get those wings.
Okay, enough Denver food talk, because I'm sure that's not the most interesting thing for listeners. I keep playing Valheim. Valheim's real
Did you
good.
beat Bone Mass?
No, we've shifted into time to build a massive Great Hall. So we're taking some time to build a massive Great Hall. Well, I'm building a massive Great Hall. Megan is exploring.
Are you building it in a place where you can then get to like the mountains and the plains?
Yes.
Or is it okay?
Yeah,
but you're not building it like right next to the plains, right?
Not right now. The plains are not on our island.
Oh, okay.
They're nearby, and we've got big ships, but they're far enough away that we're not going to get death squeedoed in our own home.
Okay.
But yes, we took all of those things into account.
Okay.
And we've started, like, we already are, like, first little mining base has a big portal hub. We're very portal heavy.
Just remember that you can't take any.
I know. It's fucking stupid. At first I was like, oh, it's kind of cool. And then now it's just like, God, this is fucking annoying.
I remember on our base that was connected to the plains, like we had an entire chest just full of, was it the black steel?
Black metal, black iron,
yeah,
dark iron.
I forget, one of those names, that is just sitting there, and we're like, well, no matter what we do, we're gonna have to build the giant furnace for those, because you have to have a specific furnace for them. We're gonna have to build, blast furnace. You have to build it there, and I'll just go ahead and let you know, so you don't make the same easy mistake that we did. Is that the blast furnace can only make stuff out of that metal. It can't do like copper or iron or silver. So
okay,
just keep that in mind. Don't just be like, oh well, I'm just gonna destroy all of our things because we don't need them anymore, and then be like,
okay,
oh well, we don't. And that base was very confined, so we had to move some shit around in order for us to be able to build those forges again.
Okay.
It was just a plains base.
It was just a plains base.
Not a hub, I guess.
No.
Sure.
No, the hub was the other place that we just only used as being a hub.
Yes.
Yeah, that's been basically all I've been doing video gaming is Valheim and trying to beat Control for the second time so I can play the expansion stuff.
Gotcha.
So.
Been playing Loop Hero. Loop Hero's fun.
Yeah, a bunch of people have been really into that on the Slack channel.
Got about 18 hours into it so far.
So, is it like an idle type game?
Not like other idle type games.
No, it's
you have control over like pause and play, the equipment you're wearing, but it's kind of like a deck builder or deck construction. Like every tile is a different card. You can bring up to 15 different cards in with you, and that's the cards that you'll have for the run.
And those will be like, it'll add like stuff on your loop, so you can be like, oh, now you're gonna be fight like a place to fight skeletons, or it'll spawn vampires, or it will spawn like rocks or mountains outside of your loop that'll help with just increasing your character's HP and stuff like that. Because the whole gimmick is like, as soon as you leave your loop, it all like resets. Like in world, it even says that, oh yeah, we forget like. What was it? He says, unless it's something that your hero has touched, other characters will like grab a stick to do something and like set it down, look away for a second, look back, and it'll be gone. So the whole thing is about like things, unless you are manipulating them, like they all disappear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the whole world disappeared, and you're the only one that remembers that the world even existed.
Ah.
Yep.
So you're going in these loops, and there's nothing but wasteland and slimes. With the slimes, drop the more cards, and you build up. And there's lots of synergies. Like if you build a 3x3 of mountains, it turns into a peak, but now it spawns harpies. Meadows next to anything else will turn into like a better meadow, but meadows give you 2 hit points a day. With the better one, it gives you 3 hit points a day.
And if you surround the like treasury thing, you get a whole bunch of extra resources. Yeah.
Okay.
So I've been playing that. I've beaten it. But it kind of has, like, you can beat it multiple times, and you get more content sort of explained to you at the end.
Okay.
You get to ask questions. And you can beat a certain amount of times before you're done getting new content. So I'm just sort of going through that and getting achievements here and there.
I played it for under the 2 hours, and just for whatever reason, it didn't sync with me. Like, the gameplay loop didn't really sync with me, and so I ended up returning it. But I can see it was fun. But also for me, like, graphics, like, it has that, like, retro pixel look that I'm not that interested in, versus, like, new pixel look, if that makes sense, like Dead Cells or stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it just didn't. It was one of those things that I could tell. I was like, it's not a bad game. I can see why people like it. It just didn't click with me.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's
got good
Thursby
stuff.
likes it a lot. Paul likes it. Ryan likes it. Yeah, the majority of people who and it's got overwhelmingly positive on Steam. So the vast majority of people I've seen who've played it have really liked it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll try again with the whole play it for a bit and refund it if I don't like it thing. And then I'll forget and leave it running while I go to make dinner and not be able to get a refund.
At the very least, it's only $15, so it's not like
Yeah, it's not very expensive.
it's not very expensive.
Fair enough.
I've been watching a bunch of movies. What did I watch yesterday? I started watching The Black Klansman, Spike Lee joint.
It's great. Black Klansman's so good.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, and it's been so far so good.
What?
Did I talk about Palm Springs last week?
No. Also
No?
good.
Palm Springs is very good.
It is.
I like that one a lot. This Thursday, we'll all be watching Justice League Snyder Cut.
Yep. Yeah, I'm trying to. I think I'm gonna watch the original cut at some point.
A
before
Whedon
then.
Cut.
Yeah, and well, especially because that's still gonna be canon. Like, in terms of their universe, that's still the movie. This one is sort of what he wanted to make, but then also a bunch of extra shit because they're just sort of letting him run wild. But it's also his last entry into the DCEU, and then he's just gonna go fuck off and do his own thing. And I know the Flash movie is basically going to sort of end that whole universe and then start its own one again.
Are they just going to do the movie Flashpoint?
Yes,
Because they already did the TV Flashpoint.
yes, yeah. And I know Michael Keaton will be there in some capacity. We think as Batman, right? But it could be like that different Batman in Flashpoint. So
yeah,
who's to say?
Who's to say?
But I think it'll be
Well, there's also the Batman coming out at some point with.
But that's its own thing.
Just like the Joker.
Yep. And then Suicide Squad.
And then they'll just
its own
take
thing.
whatever parts made the most money and continue on with that.
Jesus,
Correct.
it's such a disaster.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be fine with them if
there's no universe and they just make movies.
They just make movies. They just decide each one that we want to do this interpretation of Batman. We want to do this one. I would be fine with that because then it would differentiate themselves from Marvel versus just trying to look like it's trying to be the darker Marvel, but then it's just failing.
And they could make interesting movies and not have to. I mean, Marvel made interesting movies too, but
yes, but it's still confined within the Marvel universe.
Yeah,
and it would be cool
for all the hopes and dreams everyone had about WandaVision. Maybe they don't really have to deal with that as much.
Yeah.
Right on. Anything else you guys got banter-wise?
I beat the main game, Spiderman, again, so now I'm going through the DLC. It's been good.
PS5ing.
Yes, PS5ing. I forgot how good of an actual story the Spider-Man game has, too.
Yeah, it's good.
I really want to play it.
Yeah. I wish it could be like whenever you got a PS5, it could be like, here's my copy, but it's
Digital.
that's a downloadable digital one. But you could borrow Miles Morales and then buy the remastered version on the store. So you should definitely do that whenever you get one. There are 3 DLCs, and I played through the first one. I'm about to start the second one. It was nice because when I originally played it on the PS4, I wanted to 100% everything. Like, I got the platinum on it, so it was like having to get like the 3 stars and all of the challenges and all that shit. And it was nice to be able to be like, I do a challenge, and it's like I either fucked up or I didn't. But as long as I completed it, then I was like, all right, that's fine. It continues the story.
I'm done.
Yes. But yeah, it's cool. Still looks real good. I was surprised at like when I thought I was going to play it, I thought I was just going to be like, all right, I'm just going to mainline the story and give 2 shits about everything else. But it was still it still puts you in that mindset of like you're swinging around and you're like, yeah, I need to do the story, but there's this crime over there that I need to stop because I'm Spider-Man, right? Or it's like, oh, I need to go get that pigeon, or I need to go get that backpack. Like I still got all 55 things from the backpack, even though I didn't need to at all. So it's nice that it still makes you want to get the collectibles, and that's partially just due to the fact you're like, I want to keep swinging. Like I want to keep just swinging around in New York. So instead of doing this other shit, I'm gonna go that way. So yeah. But other than that, that's about it. Yeah. Finished up WandaVision. I started watching The Assembled, which is the like making of, which was cool.
Is it? Because I've seen it on Disney Plus for a while now, and I've been thinking about giving it a shot.
I mean, it's just the first episode is the making of. So obviously, don't watch it until you're done. But it's an hour-long making of thing. So it's
okay.
That's what it is.
They seem to do that for all their shows.
Yes,
Mandalorian had them.
Yep, and it's going to be for they're going to do one let's see, after Falcon and then after Loki and all those other ones too. I'm sure they'll be doing them as well. And then, you know what? They'll probably be doing it for the movies, I would guess too. But we'll see. Because I feel like I saw someone do like a release schedule and they listed it on there, but I don't know if that was like completely accurate or if it was some people were like, oh, they'll probably do one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But this Friday.
This Friday is Falcon and Winter Soldier. Looking forward to that.
Can't wait until it introduces the X-Men.
No, I just like people are. I saw an image that was just like, oh, I can't wait for the new show, Mephisto and the Mephisto.
Cool. Well, Jeff, any bloody minutes or anything?
No? Still no Blood Bowl news. Someday.
Okay. Maybe in the future.
Future.
I assume that if there was even plans to play Kingdom Death,
there was.
The Blizzard certainly would have killed that.
And it did.
Oh, okay, there you go. Perfect. So let's just jump over to some news and Kickstarters.
First up on news, Asmodee is back on the choo-choo buy train and has picked up Plan B Games.
Yeah. So this is just all around kind of interesting. So we covered not too long like a week or two ago all the new Great Western Trail stuff, their plans for a connected universe and fancy new art and all of that stuff.
Argentina and art edition.
And so that's part of this whole purchase. So Asmodee is buying Plan B Games and Plan B's subsidiaries, Next Move, Pretzel Games, and Eggertspiel. This is especially funny because Plan B Games, the reason for the name Plan B even, is that it was founded by former head of Z-Man, Sophie Gravel, after Asmodee bought Z-Man. So she went out, all right, my Plan B, now that Z-Man's been acquired, is Plan B. And then Asmodee was like, no, we want that. We want that too. So I look forward to the start of, it probably can't be Plan C
it'll be third time's the charm.
There you go.
Yeah.
Third time games.
Yeah. But I'm assuming they're just like, oh, we see that you liked the money last time, so here's more money. And it's just like, damn it. My only weakness.
They knew it.
The statement from Asmodee, their CEO, Stéphane Carville, says, the Plan B Group has demonstrated year after year its creativity and sense of aesthetics in creating highly successful games, such as Azul, which will naturally find its place amongst our pillar brands like Catan and Ticket to Ride. We are pleased that Sophie Gravel and her teams will be joining our group and participating in the development of our games catalog. So actually, this time, Asmodee was smart and said, no, we're not going to let you do that to us again. We're going to keep you. But yeah, it includes all their stuff: Great Western Trail, Azul, Century, Reef, whole bunch of stuff. So Asmodee continues to do what Asmodee does.
Consolidate the board game industry.
Correct. Next up on news.
Some Euro classics are not going to be around anymore.
Yep. So this is an update coming out of, speaking of Z-Man, from their head of studio, Steve Kimball. There's a whole lot of stuff to read in this little press release. Like it definitely goes on a bit and is full of a lot of stuff that's like I feel vaguely irrelevant about his history with board gaming and stuff like that. Basically, long story short, they were planning on remaking Princes of Florence and updating it, and they got a bunch of art done that looks really nice and everything. But despite working on this since like 2018, 2019, it was supposed to release as the 6th Z-Man Euro Classic game in 2019. So 3 years later, still isn't out there. Basically, Z-Man got bought out. They're not an indie publisher anymore. They have other existing obligations like supporting 4 major game brands: Pandemic, Carcassonne, Love Letter, and Citadels, plus breaking new ground in Pandemic Legacy Season 0 and their recently announced Cryo. And then he goes on to say the industry's changed a lot, even in 5 years since the new Tigris and Euphrates launched. And so, long story short, they aren't going to do Princes at all, and in fact, they are shutting down their entire Euro Classics line, which the 5 games in that currently are Tigris and Euphrates, Samurai, Ra, Through the Ages, or Through the Desert, and Taj Mahal. And they're not printing any more of them. They're not doing anything else with them. Once current stock is gone, it's over, it's done. And the various designers will be free to take those games other places to try and do things with them. So, and same thing with Princes of Florence. It's reverting back to Rainer Knizia's control, and he can go and try and find somebody else to remake it.
Which is good. At least it's not just going to rot in a vault somewhere and never to be seen again.
Yeah. And he does end on the note that maybe the next iteration of these games will have their own fancy Kickstarter stretch goal bonanza, but you can bet that if they do, I'll be the first one in line to pledge. So everything's going to be Kickstarter and Asmodee. That will be the only source for board games soon.
Yeah.
And then Asmodee starts using Kickstarter, and then it's just gone.
Yep. So.
Well, there's still that other one. What was that other one that wasn't Kickstarter? GameFound. Don't forget about that, Adrian.
Yeah. Well, and occasionally people go and do. There's Indiegogo. Every once in a while, you see somebody go and try and do a board game on Indiegogo.
And you look at it and you go, I probably would have made more money on Kickstarter.
Go away.
No.
Yeah, but GameFound, the Crusoe's launching next week, so.
Wow.
Yep.
We'll have to change the name of our crowdfunding segment to crowdfunding segment instead of Kickstarter segment.
Possible I.
Next up.
Last up on news. White Wizard Games is changing their name to Wise Wizard Games. And they announced a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. So, basically they keep expanding and they want a name that represents their vision and their community. They point out some things in their little press release that they've raised over $4.5 million on Kickstarters. Speaking of, their Star Realms digital app has been downloaded over 1 million times, and they had a 20% growth in revenue in 2020, which a lot of board game groups and, things that you do at home with just 2 people all saw lots and lots of growth in 2020 for some reason. They also launched a new unupdated website, new social media channels, reprints, things like that are going to be going forward with the new company name.
Which still keeps WWG, so it's easy enough for a lot of that stuff.
Yep, and their SKU numbers are staying the same, so retailers won't have to change anything, and their WWG hat logo is also staying the same. Our original company name was a throwback to Gandalf, the iconic fantasy character. Based on feedback from the community and our future plans to broaden our product line, we decided it was time for a change, said Debbie Moynihan. So,
I've met her.
They also announced some of those upcoming games like Jeff mentioned. Riders of the Chaos will be an arena battle game designed by Richard Garfield. Robot Quest Arena is a build your own deck to fight robots card game. And then they announced new Hero Realms and Star Realms stuff. Hero Realms Dungeons of Thandar is going to be a campaign deck similar to Ruin of Thandar. It'll let you fight bosses and minions, things like that. And then Star Realms Rise of the Empire is a prequel.
Is a legacy prequel.
Yes. Takes place before the existing Star Realms game and tells you how the Star Empire came about. And it will be a legacy-style game where players battle for survival and in the end walk away with a fully playable Star Realms set that includes all new factions.
Because I'm sure when you guys were playing, like putting down that, it's like this card gets me 1 money, this card gets me 1 damage, and you just look at the card and you're like, but what happened before I did this?
What is the story of these weird green organic ships that are mostly poison damage or not, whatever? Yeah.
But why?
But why? But why machines? Why blobs?
Well, we're not going to get the answer to that because it's just going to be why Empire.
Exactly.
Which is the least question I had about any of those factions.
But why the generic Empire?
Yeah. There is more story in the app, but not much.
No, yeah.
No, definitely not much. But yeah. So that's it for news.
Which now we go to crowdfunding. First up in crowdfunding, we have a night market. Pretty well funded, $33,000 of its $20,000 goal, 468 backers, and about 2 weeks left to pledge, which you can at its most popular level of $75.
Yeah. So Night Market is a worker placement game set in a night market, where you're going to be bringing, trying to sell people food, basically. So it takes place in like a night food market in Taipei, where, like I said, you're trying to sell food to people at night. So drunk people. It is 2 to 4 players, 60 to 90 minutes. And essentially the game takes place over 4 seasons, that are divided into 2 rounds, a day phase and a night phase. During your day phase, you're sending your workers out into a shared little worker placement area to get different ingredients and things like tofu or bubble tea. Additionally, some of the spaces have little lantern icons on them that allow you to do some special bonus actions instead of getting resources like hiring chefs, building stalls, or attracting customers. There's also a combo mechanic for as you place workers out on the city board to go get these ingredients, you can trigger combos and get bonuses and things like that. At the end of the day phase, you move into the night phase where everyone simultaneously places goods into their stalls and then moves that from stalls down into the customers who are looking to buy specific things. At the end of each season, you evaluate your progress to see who won, and then who will earn the bonus for that season. And that also helps determine the play order for the next season. Like I said, you do 4 of those rounds/seasons, and then whoever has the most points will be the winner. So yeah, there is also a full-on solo version with some extra solo equipment and stuff. They also have a thing here. This is, I think, kind of cool. So this is coming from Talent Strike Studios out of Surprise, Arizona. And since it is a game set in Taipei, they went ahead and brought on some cultural consultants in the form of Maja Lee, Smookschen, and Yutwa Ornstein. So that's pretty cool. It's good to see some board game designers and publishing companies actually, like, not only using consultants, but crediting them, like, front and center on their Kickstarter.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Whole bunch of stuff in the game. Wooden components for like your little delivery scooters, meeples, marker cubes, chefs, all kinds of stuff like that. Looks like they're using goal tokens that I can't tell looks like they are 32 millimeter cart-like board stock. They looked almost like poker chips. I was gonna be like, damn, that's pretty sweet. Money tiles, not paper money. It's not an 18xx here. Not a ton of art in the game, but the game itself, I think, does look pretty cool. I like the building up your little personal tableau of your stalls and things. I think that's kind of cool. And then the city board with all the different like randomized districts on it will be interesting too for how that affects replayability. That super key thing everybody likes to talk about.
Well, yeah. It seems interesting that it's it's always like when they have like worker placement, but it's like comboed worker placement too. So it's always not only like is it because I put it here, but it's I planned out putting it here, here, and here that gets you a lot of extra stuff. But you can have people. I think you can have people like try and stop you on doing that too. So there's some interactivity there.
Yeah, because like the first combo they talk about is the double combo, and that one is just really simple. Where like if you place a worker one space away from another worker, you get the resource for the one you just placed, that second one you placed, as well as the space in between. But I gotta think that if somebody in between your two actions places on that middle spot, you don't get that bonus anymore. So there's also like a 3 in a row mechanic where that third one gets you one of each of the 3 resources again. So you'd really get a pile of resources there, which is good because if you do the lantern action, you don't get resources. So that's a way to get to do both parts of a stall that has the lantern and the resource. If you can find a way to combo it. So it's
This is another one where you can schedule a demo with the design team on Tabletop Simulator.
Yep. They've unlocked a bunch of different stretch goals, like a score pad, but also a bunch of custom tokens. The player boards are now like snap-in puzzle pieces, so that like you can kind of add in different expansion boards and stuff and change things around. Or that's the next one at 32,000. Sorry, they ain't got it yet. Well, except they do. They just haven't updated the Kickstarter page.
Yep. Well, and I always like it when they have like the base pledge, which gets you some stuff, and it has some stretch goal things, and then the deluxe pledge is everything in the base, and then fancier tokens if you want them there, which they all look like good wooden ones. You got nice acrylic season tokens, and then you also get like one of the expansions, or you can get everything. That'll get you all the expansions.
Yeah. I don't know if this game seems interesting enough for me to go for $115 plus shipping all-in pledge, but especially because US single copy is $10 to $13, so that'd be $125 for this, and that's just here in the US. You could be like rest of the world that's not listed for $42.
But hey, that's only 3 to 4 times as much. So
instead of
hundreds
like of dollars.
Exactly.
And I want to specify that when I say rest of the world, they actually have a bunch of other shipping broken down into other countries, but that's just a category for if you're not one of the bunch of other ones. Like they've got this thing broken down into over 10 categories of shipping. The UK is all the way at the bottom of the list, just above rest of the world with an asterisk. Because what the fuck, UK? People.
Well, it's gonna have it's gonna have that 20% VAT. Yeah.
Yep. It's what you get when you tell the EU to fuck off.
Yeah. No, but like you said, it does seem like it could be pretty interesting.
Yeah. I definitely want to play it.
Yeah. If only there was some way to play it online, especially with the people.
If only. Can't imagine how you would do that.
The mind reels.
Indeed. Moving on to our next Kickstarter crowdfunding thing.
Next up, we have Eternal Palace. Very well funded, about $65,000 of its $15,000 goal. Just about 1,400 backers, and about 2 weeks left to pledge this one at its most popular pledge level of $59.
Yeah, so this is the latest Kickstarter from Alley Cat Games. It is 1 to 5 players, 60 to 90 minutes, and you are the leader of a noble house looking to repair the Eternal Palace. So you're going to be collecting materials that you need, contributing to rebuilding the monuments, and then try to make a beautiful painting in honor of all of this. And if you're the best of them, then the Emperor notices your noble house and is a big fan of you. So this is a dice placement game, where part of it is behind a screen. So basically you roll all your dice out in public, so everybody might see that you roll, say, a 3, a 4, and a 5 on your die. But there are like 12 locations to choose from, and the number on your, like the cumulative total of your die determines which ones you go to. So you could use the 3, 4, and 5 to go to locations 3, 4, and 5, or you could combine all 3 of them to go to location 12. Or you could split them up and do 3 and, 9, stuff like that. So you'll see what numbers everybody has, so it'll give you an idea of what they could do, but you won't know for sure until everybody reveals how they've split up their dice and where they're going. Each of those 12 locations is like a little mini race. They don't go into each location's detail about how you actually advance that race. But once you get to the top of it, you get a little special bonus, as well as potentially earning a special, unique icon for your painting, which I'll talk about in a second. So right now, because it seems to be kind of this is the coolest thing for me, and it seems like the appropriate place to talk about it. So the scoring is basically you have these different layers that make a painting. So you start with like a background, and then as you accomplish different things, you got to add different parts of it that will make this like really cool 3D-esque oil painting looking image. And they've got a couple here that are shown just like the hand cut prototypes, and they still look fucking awesome. They look really cool. And then especially when you factor in that you can earn like unique art based on finishing some of those locations and things, just really seems like it's a cool way to track score that adds to the table presence of this game, which it already has. Like the main board is big and looks really good. The art style is awesome. Throughout this entire game, I think is really good. Yeah, I like it.
The art is nice, yeah.
Custom wooden resources, bunch of wooden tokens, dice, things like that. The deluxe edition has some minis that I'm not really sure why. They have 4 monument minis. I guess
they go
Who
out on
knows?
the board.
to be deluxe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like they really serve any purpose besides sitting on 4 spots on the board. I don't know.
Minis in a Kickstarter, that doesn't. I know it doesn't make much sense.
Right. The deluxe edition also includes 2 mini expansions, as well as a full, just the 2 mini expansions. Sorry, Labyrinth, and exports. No real super information about what those are. They do say the deluxe edition is limited and is unlikely to ever hit retail or mass distribution. But if it does, it'll be well after the base game. They got somebody who's a pretty good painter to paint up their 4 minis, and they do look pretty cool painted.
But they won't come like that though. It'll just be gray.
No, they'll just be gray.
So they won't stick out at all. Don't worry about it.
Nope.
Yeah, I guess you can collect the monuments, and whoever has the monument at the end gets points.
Interesting.
Yeah.
They go a little bit more into detail about how you gather resources and things like that. Like, so if you go to the 4 spot with just a 4, that's like considered 1 worker, and you get 1 wood. But if you go there with like a pair of 2s, that's 2 workers, and you get 3 wood. So it actually benefits you to group your die to go and use them as more workers, which is kind of interesting because it kind of balances out, I guess, instead of just always grouping, like using 3 dice as 3 workers. If you get benefits for pairing them up so that it's not as much of a sting, you get different advisors and things like that, work on the monuments, all that stuff. I don't know, this one looks really cool. This is like a neat idea. When this was definitely a case where, like, at the start, they mentioned something about like it being a unique like dice placement thing, and it was like, yeah, the way dice are played is unlike any other game. And I was like, okay, sure, how are they played? And I was like, oh, actually, I don't think I can think of another game that does it that way. Touche. So this is where someone will email us and be like, this other game does this exact thing. It's a ripoff. But for now, Eternal Palace looks pretty cool.
But hey, it wasn't the one of us who said that. It was them, right? So we can at least just be like, you're right. They are liars. They're lying liars that lie.
True.
Touche.
Indeed. So yeah, Eternal Palace. Go check it out.
Last up on Kickstarter, we have Everdell. Forever Dell. Everything Dell. All the Dells. It's made $2.6 million on its $50,000 goal, closing in on 18,000 backers and just about a week left to pledge, which can at its most popular pledge of everything for $200.
Yup. So this is the that full edition is the complete collector's edition with 2 expansions, New Leaf and Mistwood, a big box for storage, accessories, all of that stuff.
Well, and so the complete pledge has the 3 previous expansions too. So
yes,
okay.
So you'll end up with Pearlbrook, Spirecrest, Belfair, New Leaf, and Mistwood. The Wooden Evertree, content from the Collector's Upgrade Pack, so Glimmergold, Freshwater, Trailblazers, and a unique storage solution. So that explains why everybody's went just full on bonkers for that thing.
Yep.
There's also, they're gonna make a bunch of money for Toys for Tots, because they are Tabletop Tycoon is donating a game to Toys for Tots for each copy of New Leaf, Mistwood, and the complete collection sold throughout the campaign. So they say they've donated so far 75,000 games to date as a company prior to the start of this campaign. So
gotcha.
And they've added another 23,000, so they're almost at 100,000 games given to Toys for Tots, which is kind of crazy. So the New Leaf involves adding a train station in full operation, delivering new mechanics, critters, constructions, and big ideas to the Emerald Valley. Mistwood involves the spider Nightweave making plots and plans for taking over Everdell with the aid of her spiderlings. Pit your wits against Nightweave in solo or 2-player games and recruit heroes of yore to your aid. And then the complete collection is fucking everything.
Big old box of storage.
Yeah. So, New Leaf includes 4 new sets of worker meeples, bats, cats, bees, and snails with rabbit travelers and frog ambassadors. There's a New Leaf station board that gets attached to the main board. And like 59 new cards, visitor card, 32 visitor cards, special event cards, force cards, ticket, a whole bunch of stuff. Mistwood includes 4 new sets of worker meeples, stoats, pigs, butterflies, and spiders, along with their frog ambassador and rabbit traveler buddies. A new Nightweave big critter meeple, web tokens, season tokens, a D12, that looking at the image for makes it look like it's as big as the Everdell tree. I can't imagine that is accurate. I'm assuming that that's just a layout thing. 2 Nightweave layer boards, and a bunch of legendary cards, heroes, things like that, Nightweave cards, all that stuff. And then, I don't know if we talked about the other expansions, but they don't go super in detail on them here. A recyclable sleeve, so if you don't want to sleeve your big box, you can recycle it. The big box is going to have an insert. The main insert will be the same as the complete collection. It's also going to include card dividers, comprehensive master rulebook, master card reference book, scorecard, 20 metal tokens, 300 plus critter meeple stickers. So you can put stickers on your wooden meeples, and more stuff. It's just so much stuff. An actual wooden Evertree, because that's what you need to have a good game, is a actual wooden tree.
That makes it hard to see what those
Adrian.
objective
Glad
cards
you agree.
Just fucking craziness. Yeah, this collector's edition is just bonkers. It looks like it still has the round rubber berries that roll everywhere. They did change the logs a little bit, so they're not just a rolling pin as well. So that's good.
Yeah, those were terrible.
Yeah, so much stuff. Like, just scrolling through the ridiculous amount of shit in this complete pledge that still includes the more to be revealed. Have either of you guys played any of the expansions for Everdell?
No.
I want to say I may have played one, but it was like Pearlbrook.
That was the first one.
Yeah, so I played that one. And that one just added a new resource and like underwater creatures, from what I remember.
Yeah.
But
Gotcha.
it felt like it was it just added like an additional thing. It didn't add something new.
Okay.
So
I feel that with all of these expansions, that deck just gets out of fucking control.
I couldn't imagine.
Yeah. It was already pretty far out of control before.
that's why they needed the wooden tree, because the cardboard one couldn't support it anymore.
No. It's just crushing trees.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did they ever figure out a way to actually display those season cards on the top without being a nightmare?
Not that I'm aware of.
But it's wooden
But I
now,
don't
so.
know.
Like at one point there was like people were like, here's a print and play tree so you can actually see the cards that are on top.
Or they would just use the base of it and not use
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff in this. Like there's accessories and things you can buy, add-ons. They have deluxe resource holders that are like, one of them is a boat, one of them's a cart, like 3 of them are acorn halves, one of them's an oyster shell. Like, they're themed deluxe resource vessels. They are also only artist impressions of prototype components, so who knows what it'll actually look like.
We may never know. But now you can get trains and your cute little animals.
True that.
You know,
You can also
trains.
add Tales from the Green Acorn, the World and Art of Everdell book. I guess I did not realize that Everdell had become such a thing that you could sell a $200 collector's edition and raise almost $3 million with Everdell.
Some people really like the game.
Yeah.
It makes no sense to me. It was one of the most underwhelming games I've ever played in my life.
Well, based on its medium to medium light rating, I would bet that
I'm
lot
not
of
the
people...
target audience.
Yeah. And it's number 32 overall, and number 2 family. Probably a lot to do with that.
Yeah, I guess. I did not realize that it, like, I knew Everdell was popular, and I knew there'd been a couple expansions. I did not know there was such demand that you could do that. I'm impressed, honestly. I'm good for them. Legitimately good for them. Oh my God. They will also be collecting U.S. sales tax in places that require it. Canadian sales tax, 20% UK VAT, 20% French VAT, 19% EU VAT, 25% Norway VAT, and 10% Australian GST. So that's on top of your pledges and on top of shipping. So it's expensive if you want to get it all.
I think $200 for everything is also a very good price.
I think for everything, yes. At about $30 a thing, at least.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Good deal.
Good deal. Everdell, New Leaf Mistwood, and Super Complete Deluxe Massive Edition.
That's it.
Indeed it is. No listener feedback on this episode. We did have a YouTube comment. It was from an Arkham Horror game that me, Zach, and Wes played way back in the day. Where they were asking about the tokens in the Mythos bag, but I'm not sure what specifically they're referring to. Although I just realized also that this was way, way back in the before times when we played in person. So might be some special tokens that Wes had. So we'll have to get back with him.
I'm trying to think. I don't use it. I use special dice for 3rd edition, but I don't have any special tokens.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because Arkham Horror 3rd is yours.
Well, Wes has it too, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember whose copy we played. Not sure.
No idea.
Those dice do look good on the screen,
Yeah.
like the starting screen for this. Like, we had a good layout for that one, too. And the thumbnail for it, Zach, you are laughing your ass off. It is great.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah.
I'm just like looking at it. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, I don't think it shows up in that thumbnail, or in that starting screen. I'm not sure what. Because no, did you put them in the little like coin cases, or did Wes do that? They're like little plastic clips around them.
Oh.
I bet that's what they're referring to. Is that clear hard plastic?
Yeah. So those are just like coin holders. To protect the coin, I guess. Little plastic things, and you can get them like by the back, and I know that's what he was using.
Okay, I'll have to try and get a link from him and reply also on the YouTube comment so that they see it in case they don't listen to the podcast, because they probably don't. But yeah, they're real nice.
Now the mystery has been solved.
Indeed.
So it's not. They're just regular tokens, but it's just a container for them.
Yeah.
Token sleeves, if you were, as you will.
Indeed. That pretty much wraps everything up. If you would like to get a hold of us, there's a bunch of ways you can do that. You can send us emails.
Emails at milehighgameguys.com.
You can find us over on Twitter, where I tweet under @MHGameGuys.
I am Zach_MHGG.
I am Jeff_MHGG.
I did just recently tweet a whole shit ton of pictures of Jester playing in this massive snowstorm, so go check it out. We also have our Instagram account @MHGameGuys, Facebook.com/MHGameGuys to like and follow us over there. We also post all of our episode stuff and show notes and links to the things we talk about on the Punchboard Media website, punchboardmedia.com. You can find us over there along with all of the other awesome content creators that we work with and who are part of that awesome group. And that includes links to things like our Slack channel, which is where we do like 80% of our anything now. Just like everything I talk about or discuss basically goes directly to Slack. It has taken over my life. And then our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/MHGameGuys, is still pretty much exclusively the domain of Mile High Dungeon Delvers every other Tuesday for now. But as the three of us slowly progress in the vaccine schedule, and the Colorado governor says that anybody in Colorado who wants a vaccine should be able to have one by April to May, we're getting closer and closer to getting back to doing live in-studio streaming and recording and shit like that. So jump over there, subscribe, follow, whatever, so that you see when we start doing that stuff again.
You two are both on the list?
I am.
One? You are.
Jeff has started, right?
No? Tuesday.
Okay,
Tuesday,
so
yeah.
you have a date,
Yeah.
though. I'm still trying to
Yes.
get a appointment. I am supposedly ready to go in this round, and then we're like 3 days away from the next round starting that I should undoubtedly be in. There's some debate about whether I'm in the 1B3. I'm undoubtedly in the 1B4. So,
I can be eligible in 1B4. So,
and that starts
I can start
3 days from now.
Thursday.
Yep.
Yeah. So I can start looking then.
So
So
we might be doing this shit again in April. We'll see. Man.
we'll see.
And we could maybe start playing Betrayal Legacy again. I keep looking at that on my shelf since I cleaned everything up. I was like, oh yeah, we have that.
We should at least finish Pandemic Legacy Season 2.
Also true. Also very
And
true.
then we have 0 to play as well.
Indeed. So lots of upcoming stuff.
Are you just gonna duo 0 or?
I don't know what we're gonna do for 0.
I don't know. It might. I mean, that would be the easiest thing to do.
Get done quick.
Because you got your own 0, right, Jeff?
Yes.
Okay.
But do you think you'll be able to play it anytime soon?
No.
Yeah.
Maybe we do a spoiler stream of the three of us playing 0.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Series. I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk about that off air. You can let us know at all of those places that I just said to get a hold of us. You can let us know if that sounds like something you would want to watch. Everyone's gonna be like, fuck no, I haven't played it myself. Why would I want to watch you spoil it, you bastards? But anyhow, moving right along, like to thank our sponsors, Greyfox Games, for continuing to sponsor this podcast. Their latest Kickstarter, Ragnarocks, wraps up in 44 hours, which almost certainly means that by the time you're listening to this episode, you won't actually be able to go back it on Kickstarter, but they regularly do late backer pledges as well as pre-orders on their website, greyfoxgames.com. For information. Well,
even if I release this at the normal time on Thursday, it will be too late then. So
yes. So it will be too late
Yes.
because it will be too late.
yes,
But like I said, they regularly run things to late pledge as well as pre-order on their website, depending on whether you're closer to the end of the Kickstarter or closer to the release date. It moves back and forth, but that's over on their website, greyfoxgames.com. For information about Ragnarocks, go back and listen to episode 221, where we covered it in our Kickstarter/crowdfunding segment, and you can hear all about how to play their fast, fun, two-playing, vaguely Norse game from the designers of Santorini. So, there you go. Jeff, do you have a prepared statement for us?
Of course. Greyfox Games, quality games, cleverly crafted. Also, everyone knows that women have more patience than men, but Sniper Wolf can go a whole week with no sleep, no food, her sights never straying from her target. On top of that, she takes diazepam so that her hands never tremble.
Did that quote just suggest that she keeps her scope on her target for days at a time?
Correct.
Why doesn't she kill them?
It's
Like,
until
is she an assassin who just watches people? Because that's creepy.
Maybe she's waiting for her target to move? I don't know. We may never know.
Yeah.
I have many questions, and I fear I will never get answers.
No, because she's dead.
Yep.
And has been dead since the first game.
There you go. Right on, everybody. Thank you for listening. As always, I have been your host, Adrian.
I am still Zach.
And I'm glued together, Jeff.
Bye.
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 Media, where we all
Bring something
to the table.
pull up a chair
at punchboardmedia.com.